I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. I'm your host, Mike Abrams, and today we have another amazing guest. If you are new to The Wrong Cat Died, today's guest was episode number 35, discussing one of the most amazing audition stories I've ever heard. And then episode 175, discussing her experience at the PAC as Cassandra and Skimbleshanks in Jellicle Ball, where she currently is performing at the Broadhurst on Broadway. So welcome, Emma Sofia, and thank you for being here again.
Hello. Third time's a charm.
Third time. I remember I came to the media day and you were like, I'm coming back on, right? And I was like, do you want to come back on? Like, you want to, like, third time. So I'm thrilled to have you because it has been so fun to watch. I've now been 3 times to see. I saw the first preview.
Yes.
I saw another preview, I think, when you were locked, and then I saw opening night, and I obviously already have plans to come back.
Yes.
So I love seeing kind of like the changes and the differences and the similarities, but also the stuff. So we'll dive into that because we know your cat's history. We've talked a lot about the character development and all the stuff from your Cassandra's kind of, I think I called it like neurotic, chaotic energy, and then your Skimbleshanks, which is now going everywhere.
Oh, yes.
So let's actually start with the transfer, because I got to talk to you a little bit at opening night, but that was a very, very busy scene.
Yeah.
But now that you've kind of made that transition, what's been the process of taking something that was so successful off Broadway, but bringing it to this much bigger new home with a lot of obviously more space but different space? What was that like for you as you brought your characters to that?
I mean, Broadway is so special, and it's such a specific niche, like Broadway houses, Broadway theaters have been around a long time. They are proscenium theaters. They are old theaters with a lot of history. It's like the biggest stars have passed through these same dressing rooms and same stages. And it's just so packed with history that to be on Broadway is such an honor, and it's so difficult. I think there was a statistic that BB, who plays Demeter, she read at our opening night when we were doing all the Broadway debuts. She said, I believe it's like 1%, or it's like a fraction of a 1% of actors actually make it to Broadway. So the Broadway of it all is so exciting, and I think that our production deserved to be a part of this pantheon. And the transfer itself, it's so funny. Like, I was at like a friend's birthday party before we started our Broadway rehearsals, and everybody was like, so how are you going to get the runway? How are you going to do the runway? And I was like, hi, nice to see you. Like, everybody was just so curious because at the PAC, at the Perelman Arts Center, we had a 50-foot runway. And it was so juicy and wonderful and amazing to be able to fill up all that space. And they connected 3 of their theaters at the PAC to make one. And it was the inaugural season. It was such a special and unique moment. So I was just curious. I was like, I don't know how we're going to fit the 50-foot runway into a proscenium. I don't know. But Rachel, our designer, who just was nominated for a Tony, she did such a fantastic job of transferring that 50-foot big warehouse feeling into the teeny tiny Broadhurst Theater. Like, she really succeeded in such an incredible way. So it's obviously not a 50-foot runway. It is probably half of that, not even. But there's tiers, there's different levels. So she used the space in a really smart way. So there's, audience members on the stage in bleacher seating. There's, we use the little boxes, like the opera boxes, for DJ Griddlebone, who that is a new iteration of the DJ, because it was originally DJ Chaos, Capital Chaos, who's an icon in the ballroom scene, like a pioneer of house, like ballroom beats. And it's now Kenneth Ard, who was the original Macavity in the original Cats, which is iconic. Yeah. So he's in a little box. Junior LaBeija is like his little post is one of the boxes. So it's very immersive. We tried to, and I think we succeeded in transferring such a huge and unique show into the traditional proscenium Broadway space.
Yeah. We had Rachel on and it was while she was building everything. It was like in the middle
amazing.
of all
She's
of
the
it.
best.
And she was amazing. I loved hearing all the, like, I got to ask her all these questions and kind of like really dig into what this was going to look like. Cause I had a lot of, my questions were same as what your friends are asking you.
Yeah.
But I was coming at it from a different lens because I saw the show at the PAC 3 times.
Yeah, you
I
did.
saw the first time at a table right at the front at the end of the,
I remember.
the runway, which is, there's still 2 of those
Splash
seats right
Zone.
now, I believe. Splash Zone. I sat on the side, like at the very end on the side, to see the choreography one time. And then I sat right behind Andre for the very last performance. And my like bigger question was less about the runway, because I knew you were continuing a runway, even shorter, still a runway, was actually where Andre spends his time. Because like
Huge.
Everything was going towards him. And now everything is with him at the back, but it's so smartly done. So I loved it. I mean, I got all my questions answered with Rachel on that.
I gotta listen to that.
It's I mean, she wouldn't tease some things because it was still before, any single show had been done. It was like before previews even started. And so there was a couple, like, she wouldn't tell me how. I was like, how are you going to send Grisabella up? She did not reveal that secret.
Thank God she didn't, because it is so cool. The heavy side layer is so cool.
Such a cool thing. So I'm curious for you, like, especially as Cassandra, you are kind of like all over the place running around. And you did that, I mean, at the PAC, you did that a ton, and you still have a lot of freedom of movement here. But how is it different having a little bit more of like a traditional like orchestra to run up and down the aisles versus having a little bit more of, there were more seats and more kind of tables at the PAC?
The Broadway house is a little more restrictive. Like the Perelman Arts Center was much more like a warehouse. It was much, bigger. Cassandra is just such a chaotic mess, and she just doesn't have any boundaries because she's just naive, So I just kind of try to give her no boundaries. So any opportunity I have to interact with audience, I take it. Any opportunity to confuse people and to catch them off guard, I take it. I really do get in people's faces. I really do. Like if there's like in an aisle, like when old Deuteronomy is first unveiled, I go up and down the aisle, and if there's like nobody sitting on the sides, I will walk into the aisle and up to people. I have jump scared so many people because I'll be in their face and they're like, "Whoa, what are you doing here?" And the directors, Bill and Jalen, they have given me so much freedom, given all of us so much freedom to just be as authentic in our characters as possible, because we are not cats, we are people, and we are at a ball, so whatever feels correct, they allow. And we wanted to make it like, like an experience.
I have loved because it wasn't a worry. I knew that you all would figure it out and it would be great, but there was such that intimacy at the PAC. And I was like, how do you bring that to a little bit more of a traditional of a stadium seating? And you have, because I've now sat in 3 very distinct areas. I haven't been on stage yet, but
you got it.
I've sat, it's a plan.
Good.
It's in the works. But I've sat on a little like 1 or 2 seats in on the side where you're running up and down. As Cassandra, I've sat on the other side, and opening night I sat up at in the mezzanine.
Yes.
And every single time I had interactions with somebody. Like at one point in the mezzanine, I look up and there's Dudney just standing in front of me, ready to announce his thing, and then Sydney's up there for a little bit. And so you will get all of those interactions, and you like have done an amazing job bringing that through.
Yeah, no one is safe.
No one's safe. But I also will say, for you in particular, I'm not a performer, so I don't know. Is it which side is it? Stage right, where you more are? Like,
for Cassandra, stage right is my domain.
Yeah,
stage right, so, like the dots, House of Dots table, and like the orchestra, like where the banquettes are, where the guest judges sit. And that whole, the bleachers on stage right, like that, Cassandra just goes all over the place. Stage right is not safe in Act 1.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want the Cassandra moments, you need to buy tickets on that side.
Yeah.
And then that's also though where Skimble comes out, right?
Yes. Also where Skimble comes out from stage right, like downstage where the banquettes are in the orchestra. But Skimble with audience interactions, like after, like more throughout Act 2 is stage left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. What changes have you kind of like, did you have to adjust? Either did you make any for the characters as you kind of transitioned to Broadway, or was it like, hey, this is kind of, we figured this out and this is what we're sticking with? Or did you have to make any kind of adjustments to the 2 characters?
I did not change anything.
Okay.
I did not. If anything, I just deepened more into what I had done.
Yeah.
If anything, it just, I settled more into both of them, I think. Mm-hmm. But there was no like character adjustments or any new discoveries or anything. It was mostly just deepening the work that I had done at the PAC, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it was so personal. Like in our last episode, like the development of both of the characters was so personal that I think in the year interim that we had off, I discovered myself more just because I produced a lot of shows and I did a lot of creative work. So if anything, I came in just more vulnerable and more open and more willing to just give my heart, I guess.
Yeah. I totally understand. The reason I kind of even ask is, and I was thinking about it before, and I didn't personally see this, but there were in other places where, because of just cast changes, or like you said, DJ Griddlebone's different, there are some like slight tweaks to the story where like Macavity's storyline is slightly different, and there's some of those. So I was trying to figure out if there's any of your moments or interactions where, because of that change, like how they utilize Ken in certain things or how they utilize Leiomy for certain things, if that actually changed any of your stuff. But it sounds like it didn't really impact the Cassandra or Skimble's stories at all.
It didn't really. If anything, it was just trying to build the world more. I think the creative team was really adamant about building out the world completely. So if anything, it was a lot of moments of them coming up to each individual and being like, okay, what's your relationship with this person? And what is your history with this person? And our associate director, Leiomy Stewart, she created like a family tree workbook type, I guess, like Bible of like the history of like what people's association like in ballroom is, like if they're a legend, if they're an icon, like if they're a statement, if they're a virgin, you know. I think it was just deepening what we already had built.
Okay, that's was my guess, but again, I was curious because as I watched it again, my knowledge of Cats is story and character, and so when I'm going in, I couldn't tell you any of the choreography changes you made. I might have noticed like one or two things, but like I was not going to pick up on that. But I was like, oh, Macavity's story's different.
Well,
like,
Macavity, completely different human in so many ways. Like,
completely.
Leiomy is a femme queen, icon, pioneer of Vogue femme. Like, she is who created the voguing that we see in media today. Like the voguing that we see, because voguing, when it started, it was old way, it was new way, you know, old, like Willy Ninja, like very specific type of movements. It was very clean. It was very like I like to compare it to capoeira in that there's like an element of like fighting, you know, it's like to avert, you know, and not become violent, they would dance. So it was very like warrior martial arts and like clean pictures, you know, and then it's evolved with time. And Leiomy specifically is who created, like she's the first person who ever did a 360 dip, like a 360 turn into a dip. Like she's an actual pioneer of ballroom. So her energy is so unbelievably different than the Macavity at the Pack. Like that was more of a traditional theater actor, and he was wonderful. You know, I think that shifting it more to a person who has helped shape the history of ballroom was really smart, you know, because ultimately it is a show about ballroom. Completely.
And it's also Macavity's storyline can be so negative in the, you know, the one that's like, it's like a very crime ridden, it's the villain of sorts.
Yeah, totally.
And that doesn't fit Leiomy. And I thought it was like a beautiful update to tweak it, because Macavity's storyline in the Jellicle Ball is already different than the traditional cats. And so it was already adjusted, and I thought it was brilliant the way it happened. So
we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died.
I do want to kind of go back though, because you talked, and I love the how few people have made it on Broadway. It's like, I've always said Broadway feels like, as an athlete who played sports, like it's like making it to the professional leagues. Like there's not many people that make it there. And you've now are on again. Yeah. And I saw you got the Legacy Robe.
I did.
So how has that been? Kind of like what is that? Like, what was that moment like, having that like return to Broadway feeling?
Like specifically for the Legacy Robe, I was shocked. I actually did not think I was going to get it, because it goes to the person who's had the most ensemble credits. And my Broadway debut, I was an ensemble dancer in Finding Neverland. And then my second show, I was a principal. I was Veruca Salt. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to get the Legacy Robe because I don't qualify. Because Jonathan Burke, who plays Mungo Jerry, he's been in more Broadway shows than me. But what I didn't put two and two together was that he's been in more Broadway plays. And I didn't realize, because I haven't been back on Broadway for 8 years. I've been doing television and nightlife and cabarets and, you know, just other stuff. And it was like, no, it only goes to the person with the most musical credits. So that happened to be me, because that's how many Broadway debuts we have in this show.
Yeah.
There's so many green people that have never done this. So there's video of me, of Katie Weber, who gave me the robe, which I did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with her. So it was really special. I was genuinely shocked. I was like, oh my God, I did not expect this. So that was really cool. I did not expect that at all. Which is funny, because it's like, it's such an obvious thing. Like, it's whoever has the most on, like, you just have to count.
You should have known.
I should have known. But it was the Broadway play thing that it just, you know, it went over my head. I was just like, oh, I'm not going to get it. It's going to be Jonathan or Puma. And then it was me. And it became an extremely emotional moment. I was like, damn, like, this is so, it's an over 50-year tradition. You know, my best friend, Colin Cunliffe, who you know, he got the Legacy Robe.
Also
Skimbleshanks. Papa, I call him Papa Skimble. You know, so he was there when it happened. It was just such a special moment. I cried a lot. It was great.
Yeah, it is. I laugh that you didn't recognize it because it's like, yeah, you could have
Yeah,
figured
I should have
it out.
known. Like, hello.
But you have so much going on at that moment in time. Like, this is in the middle of your tech, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's before you've started. Like, that's the last thing you're probably thinking about is like, oh, let's look at everybody's resume
Yeah.
and see who's getting it. But at that moment, when was the moment it hit you? That it's like, it's been this many years and now I'm going back on Broadway. Was it the announcement? Was it the casting? Was it the contract signing? Was it the Legacy Robe? Like, where was your, welcome back to Broadway moment?
I feel like it's still happening. I feel like I'm like, oh my God, I'm back. Whoa. Like, it still hasn't, because we're on such a marathon. Like, we are in the middle of a marathon right now. Like, until the Tonys, we just haven't stopped. We haven't gotten a break. So it really is a time of like maintenance and just keep your body healthy, keep your mind healthy, keep your spirit healthy so that you can get through to the Tonys. And then once the Tonys are over, will settle into the 8-show week, you know? So I still don't really feel like I have fully processed that I'm back. Do you know the times when it hits me the most is when I'm going to the stage door and you have to like ring the doorbell to get to go into the stage door. I think that's when it hits me. It's like, oh my God, like I'm at the stage door again. Because my 2 other Broadway shows was in the same house. I was at the L'Enfantin back to back.
Yeah.
It was Finding Neverland. We closed. 6 months later, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory came in to the L'Enfantin. So I was in the same house. So that was very, unique within itself. And that's the only Broadway house I ever really knew. So being on 44th Street, right next to Schubert's Alley, like right next to the Majestic, which Phantom ran there for over 30 years, like it's a pretty historic street, like the St. James, Sardi's is across the street from us, Carmine's. It's a little surreal. Like I even saying it now, I don't think that I fully processed it, honestly.
Yeah. You truly are on a marathon. So I want to talk about some of the fun things that I've seen you get to do. Because this is like, I'm sure it's fun and exhausting, but you've done Miscast. You just did Miscast. You did a little pop-up performance at the train station of Skimbleshanks, at Union Square. You did Good Morning America. You did all these different things. You were mic'd up in rehearsals, which was probably one of my favorite videos I've heard.
Same.
Just the hilarity of being backstage, completely unfiltered. What has all of those, let's talk about a couple. Like, what was Miscast like? That is such a unique and theater-only type of thing.
Miscast, first of all, Bernie Telsey, I love that man. He is like responsible for 90% of my career. When he called me or emailed me about it, I was like, yeah, anything for you, Bernie, like whatever. I didn't really know much about Miscast. I've seen videos and clips of it throughout the years, but mostly it's just like, there's so many things in the pantheon of Broadway that I don't really, I'm more of like a film, television, dance person, like concert dance. My mom was a film major, so I grew up like really steeped in like film and actors and that kind of history. So my Broadway knowledge is not as much. So Miscast, I knew what it was, but I had no idea. I had no idea what I was getting into because Miscast, like the actual show and gala of it all, was a fever dream. It was a fever dream. It was like I had to really process it after when I got home with my sister. We were both like, what just happened? Like it was so like the elite of Broadway and of Hollywood, like when we walked in, it was a step and repeat, and like all these stars were there. And then my sister and I finally like got in after I did all the little interviews, and we were like, okay, let's like go get a champagne so we can celebrate. You know, this is so cool. And like Adrian Brody was looking at it, and it was like, what? And then, you know, Pink is there, Jane Krakowski, and all like the entire cast of 30 Rock, essentially, which is my sister's like comfort show. So we were just freaking out. But then while we were freaking out, people were freaking out over me. So I was like, what? Like, what is happening? Like, it just was a very surreal moment. And getting to be on stage with like Darren Criss, Jane Krakowski, the Lost Boys, you know, Ali and I think Elsie, Nicholas Christopher, who I've known for years, and now he's getting his moment. You know, like we've known each other for like over 10 years. So we sat at the same table, and that was so cool. And I got to meet his wife, and just at Jessica Voss, she came on to Finding Neverland for a little stint. So we know each other from back in the day, and then getting to meet Brian Stokes Mitchell and witnessing that man sing live, like my eyes immediately started leaking. I just was like, oh my God. It was like witnessing a spiritual moment. This man singing like 5 feet away from us. It was just so cool. And like and just selfishly, the fact that I got to do a solo for a full house, a sold out Hammerstein Ballroom, it was a dream come true. It was just so cool. Yeah. It was amazing.
I love it. So I guess maybe for people who don't know what Miscast is, I would assume most people listening to this probably do, but you basically sing a song that you wouldn't normally be cast for, right? It's like, that's the idea, is people that are on Broadway are singing something that's not there. And that's how I was introduced to it, because I didn't know much about it until a couple years ago. And then someone sent me like, this person singing this one song that I really liked, that just was, again, like a version I just didn't expect to hear. And it was amazing. And
yeah,
so I
it's
forget
such
which
a
one
cool
it was.
concept.
It's so fun. And then this year, of course, you know, I knew you were going, so I was ready. And I didn't realize how hard it is to get tickets, because I was like, oh, it's like,
I couldn't even
Monday,
get my agent's tickets.
Yeah. It's like impossible to get a ticket.
I didn't realize.
They live stream it. So it's now live stream. But I could not get over the fact that the thing that got sent to me most was you're sitting there, and I believe it was Alex Brightman and Sarah Chase were full Mungo, Jerry, and Rumple teaser in full costume, and did that song and dance.
Oh my
which was
God.
so funny. And so you being there on the stage with them, how hilarious is that?
It was so stupid in the best way ever. I could not contain myself. I mean, there's literally a video that somebody made of like 37 seconds of Emma Sofia reacting to Alex Brightman and Sarah Chase, because they were so committed and such fools. They're the king and queen of fools. It was hilarious. It was a delight. They are amazing. I loved it. I loved every second.
Yeah. I've saw your performance and their performance, and that's still all I've actually had time to watch of Miscast, because that's the parts that's the cats parts I was there for.
Yes.
What about the little pop up at Union Square? Because that like what was all over my feed.
Oh, and
for
it still
hasn't. It's such a cool thing.
It still hasn't been released, Mike.
So I'm seeing somebody that was doing it, like filming you all. Oh, okay. So that went very viral already.
What has gone viral is just sneak peeks and sneak previews and just bystander videos. Like, we haven't even released the actual content. Like, it is an actual collaboration with the MTA. Like, there's going to be it's called MTA Sessions. I think Ragtime did it. So I think it was Joshua Henry and Brandon Uranowitz, and they sang a song. But this is Skimbleshanks the Railway Cat at Union Square and another location. And it's going to be its own thing. Like, I don't even know what it's going to be. I don't even know. I know what I did, but everything happens in the editing room. So I don't even know what it's going to be, but I know it's going to be on the train. It's going to be on the MTA, guys. It's going to be on the subway.
Your ads are all over the subway, so you're already all over there, and then you'll add in, and it's such a perfect tie too, because you have an entire song that is MTA focused.
Yes.
I mean, like I love the adjustment of Skimbleshanks to be on the train, and like instead of building a train, you're on the subway. Like
I love it so much. I can't even tell you. I love it.
I did not realize that was just fan stuff going around. I just assumed that was not the full thing, but like because somebody posted like almost the full performance.
Some random guy literally filmed like the whole thing. Thank God, because I wanted to see it. You know, and he posted it and it went viral. And then Cats, our team, and the MTA, they posted, I think it's 3 seconds.
It's like a teaser.
It is a 3-second teaser, and that has gone viral. And everybody's like freaking out, and they think, and what I love about it is that they think that that's what it was. They think that that's the content. And it's like, no, there's an actual video coming. Like there is true content. I don't know when it's going to be released because they don't tell me anything, because I'm just the actor,
You just hit share when it comes out. Yeah. That's what they're asking for you.
Exactly. I just hit share and I'm like, yeah, I know everything.
Do you have any dream like PR collab, like of the things that you've done so many cool things?
I
do. Is there anyone we were just like, which one? What's the one you want to do?
My dream collaboration, and I hope that he hears this somehow, is with Zohran Mamdani, our New York City mayor. I have a dream. I have a dream that Skimbleshanks, as a representative of the MTA, is able to have a sit down with Zohran Mamdani to talk about the MTA fares and how we can adjust that for the people of New York City. That's my dream.
I love it. Let's manifest it right now.
Yes, I am manifesting, and I'm going to say it. Democratic socialism, free fares.
Free fares. Okay.
That's what I'm going to say.
Skimbleshanks. It's decreed by Skimbleshanks.
Skimbleshanks' desire for the people of New York City is to get free fares for our public transportation.
When I asked that question, I was like, all right, am I going to know anybody to help you? And I'm like, I do not, unfortunately, know anybody to help you on this.
I know. It's a big dream, but that's the type of person I am. I dream big. And I think the impossible can be made possible by just believing in yourself.
I think this is possible.
It seems not far-fetched, right?
It's not far-fetched. He's around. He's doing stuff. He's done stuff with the WNBA. He's done stuff with other people. He's very involved. I mean, he's the mayor. Like, he's in the city.
He rides city bikes.
Yeah, this isn't far-fetched. I think this is. I hope the right people at the Jellicle Ball or all the different teams have that. I have my own dream for your show that I've been slowly trying to influence behind the scenes, that I'll tell you when we're done recording.
Okay.
I don't want to say it in case it actually happens.
Okay.
But I have one that I was like, I actually might know somebody that can help with it too. So I'm like, okay, let's see if we can make this happen.
Manifest.
And then my other dream is I want to be a guest judge, and I'm still.
Oh yeah.
I want to do that one day after I get back from a.
That's easy.
Trip.
I'll get you in. Yeah.
That one I think will happen. I just
totally
get through the Tonys, yeah. There's a lot of really cool people. You have such amazing guest judges, so you got to get them in there.
It's so cool.
Can we talk a little bit about the awards? Like, you got the Tony season coming up.
Yes.
You've been nominated for all kinds of others. I can't even keep up because I don't know most of what these awards are. There's just been like every day I see a new one.
I don't know either.
How do you? I mean, obviously, there's like, how do you like even just process all of those? Like, how do you keep up with what you're doing and being able to be ready? And then you're leading up to this like huge moment in a few weeks for the Tonys, where it's like the whole theater community basically builds to that moment. How are you doing that now, besides obviously being asked to go everywhere in the world to help promote it?
Well, honestly, awards just in general are highly subjective. Mm-hmm. It is based off of people's opinions and based off of their mood at the day that they are watching this show, So it depends. There's so many factors that determine who wins these awards. It's the kind of thing that it's an honor to be recognized by any person who wants to dole out awards. because, just to be acknowledged in general as a human being is really important. External validation is really important, especially for actors and performers who their value is contingent upon how much applause they receive. So, awards within themselves it's a really nice, it's nice to be validated,
Yeah.
But ultimately, what matters most is the people who are making the show happen. Like it's not just about the actors and the creative team. It's also about the crew. It's also about the people who work in the in-house staff of the theaters. It's about, what's really important is the community that creates the theater world, because it takes so many people to get these shows, to get these shows to happen, and if an award is received, it is a gigantic celebration for everybody. And it's validation that all of this hard work was for a reason, But I think more so than anything, the most valuable thing is like when you're doing the sign line after a show and a little kid is dressed up as your character and they have the playbill and they look at you and they say, I want to be a dancer after seeing, that to me, those are the most important awards, Like, of course, I want to win all the awards because just for my own ego, just to boost my ego, because I've done a lot of work in my life to be this performer. But I think more so than anything, it's about reaching people's hearts and reaching the audience's, their hearts and their souls. It's really important now, especially like the society that we're living in, the world that we're living in. There's a lot of confusion and a lot of opportunity to get really depressed and really scared and really sad. And these shows that we put on, that there's all this work that gets put into them. Ultimately, what's most important is that we are allowing people to escape these scary realities that are happening and to remember community, remember joy, remember love, remember, that we all have the ability to put on a song and dance it out and hug each other when we're afraid or confused. So yeah, the awards are amazing, but it is more rewarding to me, the audience reaction and the fans.
Yeah. I think one thing I've always said about your show that's one of my favorite parts is you walk out happier than you walked in.
Yes.
Like you walk out with more energy than you walk in, which is so important. And that to me in these times that like there are a lot of great shows that are a little heavy and you have to kind of like walk out knowing you're walking,
you got to process.
Walk out.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have to think about this, which there's obviously a massive time and place for that. And there's like a space for it. But I love when I walk into a show and I can just enjoy myself and have like that. And I feel like that to me is for you all, like, yes, the awards are amazing, but there are some things that aren't even awarded that probably should. I had on Victor and Sujata from casting, and it's like, there's not a casting award. There should be a casting award. And like, there's that's so vital to what's happening. And there's all of that. I've always thought there should be an ensemble award for the Tony. So it's great. But I think just like you said, just having people love the show, people coming back to the show. I mean, you have people coming back multiple times. I know one amazing fan in particular who's been, I believe, already 13 or 14
times.
Like that's to me what's so cool about cats in general, but also in the Jellicle Ball.
Yeah, the Jellicle Ball is really a special moment in time. I keep saying that we are the revolution, and that this is what the revolution looks like. It's Black, brown, queer joy, and we're not telling a story about tragedy. We're not telling a story about a trans Black woman's suffering. We are telling the story of her triumph, and we are celebrating, marginalized communities and making it cool and fun and exciting and, inclusive. And our little statement is come one, come all. And that's really important right now. It's really important. So yeah, the awards are amazing. I love awards. You know, I've absolutely practiced my awards, you know, acceptance speeches in the shower since I was 5 years old. But ultimately, this is about the people, you know, and I say on my Instagram bio, I'm a diva for the people. So any way that I can be a contribution to people's joy in my community and just the people of the world, like that's my priority.
Amen. I love it.
We're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died.
Let's close this out with some rapid fire.
Let's do it.
I've asked these before. This is now round 3, so I do a different fun one. So, okay, if you could go on one night, any character in the Jellicle Ball, who do you want to perform as?
Grisabella.
Favorite and least favorite cat from a personality standpoint. So which Jellicle Ball character are you hanging out with and which one would kind of bug you?
Mungo Jerry is so mean. Jonathan Burke plays a very sassy Mungo Jerry. So I'm going to say, because every time Cassandra talks to him, he says really not nice things. So Mungo Jerry, I'm not going to hang out with. Who I am going to hang out with? I think Macavity. Leiomy makes me laugh a lot.
Okay, I love it. Favorite song in the show?
Do you know what song? It's really funny and ironic. Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser is stuck in my head all the time. I love their song. I love it. That was the one when I first saw the show. I was walking out of the theater singing it. I can't stop singing it.
But also, like, I didn't know anything about cats at the time, so I'm like, what are these names? Like, why am I walking down the street singing Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser? What is that? Okay, so my fun one, I always ask one, if you do get your meeting with our mayor, what if you could cast him as one of the characters in the Jellicle Ball, who do you, not guest judge, I'm taking that off the table because I think that would be also amazing. Who do you want to cast him as?
I think he would play a really good old Deuteronomy. I do. He embodies that.
He is. He's
showing
very young
it
for that.
He's way too young. He's way too young
for that.
But the wisdom and his unwavering self-confidence in his campaign and in his values, it's giving old Deuteronomy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, you picked Grisabella last time.
I did.
I think you picked Grisabella the second time.
Did I? Can you tell that I want to be that? I can tell you. It's such a fun and tortured. I just want to be tortured. I love it.
Yeah. So I want to know your Jellicle choice again. Hold on. I'll let you know. The second time, I believe, was also Grisabella. It was also Grisabella. So you're 2 for 2 on Grisabella votes.
I have a different one. I have a different one.
Oh, you have a different one today?
I
do. Who's your vote today?
My vote is Monkey Strap. Dudney.
Dudney. Dudney works. Dudney's
people don't understand how hard that is. No.
Yeah.
They don't understand. This man, he creates all of the chants. It's him. He writes it. I have witnessed him writing chants by himself, sitting in a staircase and writing chants. This man, I call him the heartbeat of the show. He is the heartbeat. Like, he is our heartbeat. I don't know what we would do without him.
I agree so much. I just finally had him. I had him at Broadway Con a couple years ago, and then I had a full episode with him recently. And I kind of jokingly asked him on the carpet, "Can you write me a chant?" And I put him on the spot.
Oh,
and
I heard it.
He's like, "No, I can't really do that on the spot."
Yes,
he was like, "I'm gonna struggle." He did something, but then I didn't say anything again. And then when he knew he was coming on the show, he sent me, like, he was ready. Like, he was like, "I'm ready. I have it."
Yes.
And he sent me the video. He sent me is so funny because he's walking down the street and he's filming just the street as he's like working it out in his head, and then all of a sudden he turns the camera to himself and he goes, "I figured it out." And then that was it.
Unreal.
And it's like, he writes them all himself. He figures out the beats. He trained, went to learn, and study to do it. It was so cool to see, hear his process.
He has reverence. He has reverence for
so
commentating.
So.
Yes. No, he's amazing. He is my Jellicle choice.
I'm glad that we now have a third of the way there of convincing you for the full time. But that was I love that choice. That is a great one. So This is so fun. Round 3 was great. How can we stay in touch with you? I mean, you're doing so much, and this will come out before the Tonys, so leading up to all the fun stuff. Yay. So how can people keep up with you?
My Instagram, Emma Sofia, O-K-A-Y, Sophia with an F, not with a PH. That really grinds my gears when people write it with a PH. I don't know why. It's such a, like obviously Sophia is a PH, but no, mine's with an F, y'all. It's with an F.
Yeah.
On my Instagram, I have a TikTok. I'm not really on TikTok, but I have one. And come to the stage show.
You're all over the Jellicle Ball pages too.
Yes.
So we'll link all of those so people can find it. And yeah, come to the stage show. Come to the show. Go see it.
Broadhurst.
You have to go see it if you haven't. It is amazing. It's such a good time. It's so fun. I believe if you show up early, you're given a fan if you're really early.
Really?
As well, I don't know if they're still doing that.
They did that for the opening and the preview, but they're still doing it now.
Opening night was like a fan from like the show fan. From what I heard, and someone can correct if this is not the case anymore, but the first like handful of people, it's not a ton, just get one color. So it's not like the one from the show, but they have a few I think it's to keep the audience, clapping fans.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's really
Which is great.
I love that.
Yeah. I've not been there early enough ever for it.
Yeah,
so
well,
I'm a show up right before the show starts person now.
Me too.
But that's the living in New York, I think, where you get to see it more.
Yeah.
But okay, well, again, congrats on everything for you. I'm so glad to have you back on the show, and thanks for sharing again. Maybe there'll be a round 4.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
After we win all our 9 nominations, all the Tonys.
9 nominations, 9 lives. I thought that was great.
Oh, the marketing team aped that one up.
They were ready. Wow. I hope you win everything. I will be celebrating either way. You win everything in my book.
Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
And I will see you at a show soon, I'm sure.
Yes, you'll be a guest judge.
A guest judge. Well, thanks again, and thanks everyone else for listening to this episode of The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown. The Cassandra feed. To follow along, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other podcast. Follow us on social media at The Wrong Cat Died. Check out our website, thewrongcatdied.com.